What's good, YouTube? Minute Steel here. And if you're anything like me, once you got your hands on 2 copies of this promo, you knew you just had to find a way to use it. Or maybe you're just a big fan of the Gentle Giant, and regardless of which variant you have, you just want a list that maximizes its potential. Snorlax has a whopping 140 HP on a basic, which is insane. However, it does have 2 notable drawbacks. One, that its attack requires 4 energy, and second of all, it puts Snorlax to sleep. However, there's 2 factors that mitigate these drawbacks. Number 1 is Berry, that was released alongside this Snorlax, which reduces the attack of any Snorlax by 2 colorless, thus allowing you to swing with Snorlax as early as turn 2. And the second factor is that you do in fact get 2 checks to try to wake up, which is why we don't commit anything to Lumberry, as more often than not you will wake up by the time that it's your turn again. Regardless, Snorlax requires a lot of energy commitment, thus it's best to pair with a line that requires no commitment in the form of Magnezone. Following up Snorlax with a Magnezone is not only another 140 HP Pokemon that only gets 1 point, but it's also dealing 110 damage, which is part of the combination that starts adding up to more than 100 damage per turn. Yet it goes without saying that Magnezone is nothing without Magneton, which in this deck serves 2 purposes. One, building itself up so that you could eventually evolve it into Magnezone and ideally close out the game. But it's also producing free energy that you're able to use Dawn on. Making Dawn sort of like a pseudo Berry allows you to use Snorlax's attack a turn earlier, meaning that a Berry backed up with a Dawn is one of the many ways this deck starts dealing 100 damage consistently. To round out the list, we use Shaman and Cape simply to combat certain damage thresholds. Overall, this list is a lot of fun and far more competitive than I gave Berry credit for on release. If y'all give this deck a try or have any suggestions based on lists that you've played, feel free to comment down below as I reply as soon as I see them. And if you enjoy this content and all things Pokemon Pocket, please consider liking and subscribing. And above all else, stay pro. Alright, so now to put the deck to the test, going second against... you see Metal Energy, you assume the best deck, but who's to say? Let's see here. Just start up Snorlax. This hand's actually pretty great. Granted, it is at the mercy of whatever research gets us, but we'll start right there. Okay, so as expected, it's a Dialga pile. Let's see where this goes for them. Okay, just draw pass. Makes sense. Alright, so here we actually get to set up 2 Magnetons if we wanted to. Let's see what research gets us. Because we might want to hold the second one in an attempt to, like, communication for a card. Okay, that Berry is going to be very good for us as well. I will put down both Magnemites. What I'm unsure of is if we'll commit to both Magnetons, because we do have communication in the deck as a way to search for the Magnezone. So we'll just pass there. We know we're capable of swinging with Berry next turn, so that's always good. Alright. They are playing... Okay, so that's just great, honestly. There's no other way to put that. Let's go... Double Magneton here. In a perfect world, we either draw another Berry or we draw Dawn. Alright. Can't close it out just yet, though. Not waking up there is not the worst thing, because we do have a second opportunity once they pass the turn back to us. Where it does get a little worrisome is if we don't land past that. So let's see what we do here. Yeah, well, their play is clearly just building up Dialga. I mean, building up Arceus with the Dialga. Alright. Let's see, does the Snorlax awaken? It does. Now, do we draw a Dawn or a Berry is the bigger question here. And we, in fact, do see the Berry. And given the situation we're in, we'll probably just flat out use it now. As well as... There is a world where we survive, right? Because currently, it's only going to... Arceus only does 90 damage. So they would have to find 2 more Pokemon. So we could commit this here. And let's go back-to-back berries. Alright, so that gives us the 2 points. And now they've yet to get a single point on us. And we have the potential of swinging for... We only have 1 point, is what I'm trying to say. So that Arceus has to, like... Has a lot of work to do. Okay, so hopefully we wake up. Perfect. So we don't have to worry about the next turn. So as long as they don't have 2 Pokemon to put down, Snorlax is swinging. Now, whether or not that they have it or not, okay, they didn't even have an extra Pokemon to put down. Yeah, this is basically game though. Okay, we got a Pokeball. We're out of berries, so like a second Snorlax isn't ideal. And almost like in a world where they're playing Mars, I think I want to evolve the Magnezone. Let's do that. It might be a little too preemptive, but yeah, GG's. I guess they were going to put us on better have Magnezone, but I didn't want to play into a Mars that they might have. GG's there. Alright, we get to go second once again. This time against... Could this be a mirror match? It's not very common... Like, it's not very often that you see lightning energy anymore. Although with all the Pikachu sleeves, they might just be on Pikachu. They could also be on, like, 18 card Pachirisu. Yeah, so just straight up Pikachu here. Realistically, we would hope to draw Magnemite here. Maybe even Snorlax off of the research. Yeah, so just... Honestly, haven't seen a Pikachu deck in a hot minute. Let's see here. We draw into Pokeball. I think I will, in fact, do research first and then Pokeball. We want to see both Magnemite and Snorlax if possible. To the point where now this Pokeball is probably just going to be used to trade away in search of Magnezone. But for now, we'll just put these down. And let's build up Snorlax in the back here. And let's just pass. Ideally, what would be the play here? Like, we're not playing X-Speed or Leaf or anything like that, so... Not too much for us going on in that front. We could technically put Snorlax up front. Let's do that. Protect Shaman. So Shaman healing could come in clutch, like, as the game progresses. And probably next turn we'll commit to the second Snorlax. Although we could technically play around like a Sabrina play. So yeah, let's just put the second Snorlax. We already have Magnemite for the communication anyways. And let's just pass turn there. Let's see. We're gone halfway through the deck already. So their Pikachu's ready. And they're going to commit Leaf to it. Alrighty. A secondary Pikachu here. Also, we're not playing Geo or nothing, so we don't benefit from... Like, we have no way of one-shotting Pikachu with anything else. Let's, healing up, although it doesn't really make a difference in the current situation we're in. Let's go Volt Charge. Give this Snorlax yet another energy. Go Berry. And just collapse. The waking up or not is basically irrelevant because we're going to get knocked out regardless. The win condition is actually the Sabrina in our hand, by the way. Because due to weakness, we could knock out a Zapdos. And we one-shot Voltorb or Electrode regardless of if he evolves it or not. So... yeah, we're really at the mercy of finding Magnezone here. So hopefully we just get it off the top. Okay, no, but however, looking at the list, yeah, this is gonna be. There's no Pokeball target, so I'll just communication. Hope for it to be Magnezone. It's a 2 in 3 chance, 67%, and we got it. Perfect. And then we're able to Pokeball. Get the card right back. Let's Volt Charge. Let's drop Magnemite here for like future situations. Let's go Magnezone here. We could technically start building up Snorlax. Or just give more energy to Magnezone. I don't think it makes much of a difference. Let's just go here, I guess. We're going to have to feed Magnezone next turn anyways. Alright, and then the win condition, like as I mentioned, they have no way of knocking us out. Their max damage is 90. all we have to do is Sabrina, and we one-shot anything that they have in the back line. I guess the one way they like outplay us is by playing like Cape or something. And even then, we could just Magnezone for 110, and then they'll be at range for a Magnemite or something like that. So, let's see. Like I said, it's very hard for us to lose at this point. Yeah, that's GG's. It's not like they misplayed or anything. So, we won't even like waste time using Shaman or nothing. Let's just get the W. Yeah, at this point, there's nothing they could do. Yeah, they basically saw the writing on the wall. Regardless of which one they gave us, the reason we knock out Zapdos is because it is in fact weak to lightning. So, GG's for this one as well. All right, now we get to go second against. Could this be yet another? This hand is actually quite beautiful. If we see Magnezone. Okay, Mew. So it's fair to assume this is a Dialga deck. But it's also fair to assume that we got lucky in that they didn't start with the Dialga out front. However, it's a deck that very easily like fixes their hand just by seeing Dialga after the fact and having a Leaf, right? All right, so we'll research first. Really hoping for Magnezone. Okay, beautiful. We already have Magnezone. Yep, no reason not to just fully commit to the board here. That way, if they have a Sabrina play, we could throw out a Magnemite for like as fodder without sacrificing what we're trying to build up here. And we'll pass there. Okay, they do have their Arceus though. Yeah, it seems like the Mew's gonna be thrown to the wolves here. Alright, a Dawn would have been beautiful there, but our own Shaman is pretty good too. Let's get ready to swing here. Let's evolve here. Ramp here. The best draw off the top next turn would be Dawn. Although I'm aware it's a one of, so I guess another berry would work as well. So there's two cards off the top that really put us in a good position. And yeah, I was about to say, plus winning the... We gotta obviously get heads either on our turn or the following. The good thing about Snorlax is that you get 2 checks to wake up, so it's not really like... It is a side effect, like a downside to the card, but most of the time, you get to like make up for it, right? Their Arceus will be ready the following turn. It is safe to say we got lucky in terms of them not seeing the Dialga. However, like I said, Dawn or Berry, they both serve the exact same purpose in this situation. And we got none of the above here, but there's Pokeball. Thin the deck out. We're not going to put the Snorlax down. Just Volt Charge. Threaten with Snorlax. And just pass turn. We'll keep Cape for the Pokemon that has to like 1v1 the Arceus. Since Cape is the only thing that keeps us alive past a Geo. Now here they do have the option of going... Most of these decks aren't on X speed, so they'd have to leave. Yeah, so we actually survived this off the fact that they can't like Leaf and Geo here. Does Cape do anything for them? Not really. We put them down to 60. They would need... Even with double potion after this, they just don't get out of it. And there's the Dawn. Pretty late to the party, but... We'll charge up here. We go here. We could technically drop Shaman as well as just Snorlax, but let's go... Let's develop Shaman, I guess. Heal up, although it doesn't make a difference here. And just get, not a knockout, but, you know, 100 damage. And like I said, the most they could heal, unless they're playing double Shaman, of course, is double potion Shaman, which is 50, which puts them at 110, which is in range for Magnezone. The only way they could survive is if they have a second Shaman alongside the double potion. And if we're still talking like cards we hope to see, it's 100% Cyrus at this point. Although we would obviously first get rid of Arceus and then next turn bring out the Mew with... But I guess Sabrina also works in this situation, so there's always that. Okay, like I said, they need double potion. Without double potion, they would have been better off healing the Mew in the back. I mean, whoa. Flashback. Like, let's rewind to what I said earlier. Without the second Shaman, none of this matters. And I go back to, they were better off just using, like, double, all the healing on the Mew. But they also, like, if we didn't have Magnezone, we had no punish for the play they just did. So I could see why they did it, but we'll take full advantage here. Also, with only 7 cards in deck, the chances that we draw the Cyrus or Sabrina off the top is pretty high. Let's evolve. As well as drop Snorlax here. Playing around... Actually, this doesn't play around Giovanni because their only target next turn is to swing for 30 with the Alga, right? So let's just go here instead. Research. Hoping for the Sabrina and or Cyrus. Okay, there it is. That's game. That's all she wrote. So, like, one thing about this deck that, yeah, it's kind of weird where you're, like, sharing the weakness to fighting decks that the Algas shares. However, since you're trading 1-pointers for 1-pointers in that matchup, hopefully I get to record one during this recording to, like, prove it. But this deck does have a way of beating the Dialga deck. Granted, a lot of things have to go your way, but that's like any deck in this format currently. Mars. Okay, so that does in fact give him a chance here. The 1 card off the top, Cyrus. Let's go. We honestly got so lucky there. But although realistically, yeah, no, we got lucky. There's no other way of looking at that one. Let's just take our knockout. And GG's to our opponent. Alright, going first. And we are going against Water. We did in fact start Snorlax with Double Berry. So that's pretty good. Going first is less good, I guess. However, a Palkia, outside of like barring like them going Misty and just like going all out. Yeah, barring a Misty that going all out, we're in a pretty good spot to like take down this Palkia before it can take out us. Let's see here, Sabrina makes sense. We did play into that, but also I guess I could have waited for Magnezone, but then at that point, are we playing too slow? I don't know. Tough spot to be in. We'll definitely research here. Okay, another Magnemite and another Snorlax. Which means we definitely put out the second Magnemite. Do we just give them Magnemite? I think so, right? And just build up for the Snorlax. Yeah, they could have it. Unfortunately, no Magneton yet, though. So if we draw it, we're back in it. This is a case where going second definitely put us in a worse spot. Had we gone first, I mean, not going second put us in a worse spot. So we're forced to basically give this point away. However, okay, so it does seem like it's just an 18 trainer. That's a beautiful draw. It also helps that we have Double Berry, right? One option we have is just to put Snorlax up front. Like to put this Snorlax down, especially with Double Berry. It plays around like a second Sabrina. Although there's a world that if they Sabrina, we send out Magnezone. Okay, can we wake up? Perfect. Okay, that's all that. truly mattered here. Now they're in a spot where if it is 18 trainer, they could put a Palkia down and then try to do some kind of switch play here. But then we could just Sabrina it out and knock out the one that has the most energy. Let's see what they decide to do. They could have like Leaf to try to run out. Okay, so that with the Irida, that does work. Potion is not enough. They need Irida, which the way they're playing it makes it seem like they do in fact have it. Or they'll put us on better have the second berry, which is again something that I mentioned in an earlier game, although I don't think it made the cut yet. I played against a Starmie deck, which instead I'll put this deck because it's far more relevant in the meta. Where my message in that one was basically like decks are forced to put you on better have it so many times. And yeah, let's just go berry here. And it never feels good to put this deck on better have it because yeah, you won't always have it, but the times that you do, what is your opponent supposed to do about it, right? Now we have 2 more checks, and then next turn Snorlax could swing guaranteed. And their only win condition is like a Misty going for like 8 heads. Alright, also missing checks is also pretty tough. But yeah, they'll hit us for 30 here. The second cape doesn't really matter. What matters is us waking up or not. We were never one-shotting them, so that's not part of our issue. One thing that is kind of rough. Okay, can we just please wake up? Yeah, I was gonna say something that is kind of rough is that we were forced to give them the early point, which is usually not something that comes into play. But we'll start building this up. Yeah, they can't miss the Sabrina next turn, so we'll keep it like this. We have 2 more checks to pass here. Alright, we're finally up. Here they're kind of forced to try some like Misty shenanigans. And I say shenanigans, but it's basically like game winning for them if the Misty hits. Although they have 8 cards left in deck. Yeah, it seems like all the Misties are in deck, so we'll take that. Alright. We do have to keep in mind that a deck like this is highly likely to be on Mars and stuff, so I'm not even gonna risk nothing. Let's evolve right here. What else do we want to play around? Like probably we want to cape something. We're definitely doing this here. Let's research. Dawn is decent. Do we have we have a Shaman actually. Let's do that. And I guess realistically we would cape. Yeah, it's I don't know. I guess it seems almost like a flex, but we were playing around them randomly having like some kind of Sabrina or not Sabrina. Yeah, Sabrina healing. There's a lot of ways where they could have pressured us, so it's always good to set up. And yeah, they put us on better habit, and we had the double berry I think in this game. And even with one delayed waking up, we were able to take full advantage of this deck. Honestly, pretty big fan of this deck. It plays very well. No, it's not top tier, and it shares weaknesses with like the best deck in the format. However, every Pokemon you have being one prize makes it where like cards like Sudowoodo in the fighting deck don't do too much against you. And also, if in those games where they don't have like the perfect line, like maybe they're missing the fossil or they don't see the evolution, like they don't have enough pressure to apply. And if you build up your pieces and you're swinging for 100 basically knocks out everything on their side of the field outside of Rampardos. But then if they do have Rampardos and it knocks out one of your guys, the guy who comes in and they take 50 damage, thus they're in range for everything that comes behind. So yeah, if you use your best hand and their best hand, it's almost like a 50-50 because although you do share the weakness, everything you're swinging knocks them out. So I wasn't able to get a fighting replay, unfortunately, but I wanted to point that out because it is true to the format and to the matchups. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoy all things Pokemon Pocket, please consider liking and subscribing, and above all else, stay pro.